Okay, as the information shared by Hoyoverse on the last 2.7 livestream, it seems that we will get a very interesting gift in the upcoming 2.7 update. Yep, what else if not a free 5-star character selector? Well, I know this seems quite difficult to accept by common sense, because rarely do we receive gifts this good in Honkai Star Rail. However, with this exciting news, of course there are a lot of players out there, especially new players, who are confused about who is the best character to take, right? Yep, I hear your complaints, that's why I finally made this video. Okay, without further ado, I am PD Gamers, and now we will break down everything about who to choose in Selector 2.7. Let's do this. Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough Stellar Jade? Here is a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Look no further than Loot Bar. Loot Bar is the most reliable top-up platform. It saves up to 20% for all orders compared with the official channel, and it provides an 5% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy pack for 3,000 Stellar Jades for $42, which otherwise would have costed $50, totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in less than 3 minutes. All recharge will be done through the official channel with miHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount. Okay, we will start from the smallest character first. Well, who else if not BAILU? As we know, BAILU is a pretty short character. I mean, she is a healer who has the Path of Abundance. She has the special ability to perform an automatic heal when taking damage with her ultimate. Her skills can reduce the damage received and increase the maximum health of all allies. She is also able to revive ally in one chance. Well, but the biggest drawback of BAILU is that she cannot clear debuffs. Yep, it's a bit unfortunate indeed. Even though there have been several new healers appearing in this game, BAILU is still a good choice. The way she provides heal has proven effective against tough enemies' attacks. Although not the best healer due to competition with other sustain units, she can still help players get through difficult endgames. Anyway, BAILU's main ability is her talent section, which can heal ally with invigoration buff whenever they are hit by an attack. This buff can heal up to 5.4% of BAILU's maximum HP plus 144 points, and can be triggered twice each time the buff is applied. Her talent also allows her to revive ally with healing up to 18% of BAILU's maximum HP plus 480 points after they suffer a fatal attack. Anyway, although BAILU can improve by obtaining her Eidolon, her abilities face stiff competition from other healers such as Luocha, Fusuan, Huohuo, and also Lingsha, who can provide stronger healing and additional utilities, such as cleansing debuffs and damage reduction. Newer healer characters also reduce BAILU's effectiveness, mainly due to her lack of cleansing debuffs ability which she lacks. Despite this, BAILU still remains a viable option if you are a new player who needs a 5-star healer, or a player who needs a second healer. However, it is likely that if you already have a better healer, then BAILU has the potential to be replaced by another character. Well, with all BAILU's abilities, it doesn't seem strange if I put her in tier C on this tier list. What do you think? Okay, the next character that we will discuss next is a character that is no less short, which is CLARA. CLARA is a character in the game that has focus on counter damage. She has innate damage reduction and counter abilities that can hit back at enemies when they attack her. Her skill abilities allow her to deal damage to all enemies on the field, and her counter attacks grant her Mark of Counter status, which doubles the damage of her next skill. CLARA also has an ultimate that increases her damage reduction and also increases her counter attack. Since last year's release, CLARA's reputation has risen considerably, not because she doesn't gain hate, but because she is considered one of the best standard 5-star characters in the game. This is because CLARA is a powerful yet uncomplicated unit to use. Most of the damage she deals comes from her talent, which gives her passive damage reduction and allows her to perform powerful counter attacks. One more thing, each of her counterattacks also replenishes 5 energy. To be a strong team, CLARA works best with characters that increase her survivability and damage, such as Lynx and Luocha. Huohuo is also the best match for CLARA, as it provides team-wide energy and healing, as well as buffs that increase CLARA's effectiveness. However, one interesting kit that Huohuo has is that she can provide energy to speed up the use of CLARA's ultimate. Oh yeah, one more thing. CLARA also has an effective traces bonus, which allows her to dispel debuffs and counter crowd control. Getting her Eidolon also provides its own benefits, like for example her Eidolon 1 as marks of counter will become permanent, so we can ensure consistent damage output. Overall, CLARA is tough and useful character throughout the game. So what about her tier? Since she has a good kit, plus she is currently still very useful in some content like pure fiction, for example, I would not hesitate to put this character on tier A. The next character we will discuss is WELT, a character who is said to be old but still handsome. WELT is a strong character known for debuffing and dealing damage, with a primary focus on controlling the battle. He has a strong offensive and defensive kit and remains a competent unit for now. WELT's abilities include slowing down enemies significantly with his skills and imprisoning them with his ultimate, so that his enemies will never get a turn. His talent can increase his damage against targets with the slow debuff, allowing him to deal more damage than he would otherwise. Oh yeah, his skill can also produce a total of 396% attack when combined with his talent, making it comparable to some ultimate. However, because the target of this skill is very random, the damage produced is not consistent enough. WELT's ultimate attacks all enemies with 150% attack and has a 100% chance to confine them for one turn, delaying their actions by 40% and reducing their speed with a slow debuff. This ability effectively neutralizes threats from stronger enemies, preventing enemies from casting abilities that could threaten our party. WELT's ability Traces bonus is also quite good, because with his ultimate, he can deal 12% vulnerability damage to affected enemies. This vulnerability is applied before the damage from his ultimate is dealt, giving him an immediate advantage. Some of his traces also enhance the use of his ultimate. One restores energy with each ultimate used, while another increases his damage against weak enemies. This allows him to maintain control in a fight and make effective use of downtime. By upgrading his Eidolon, WELT can increase his abilities even further, including on his Eidolon 2, which can increase energy replenishment that can change how fast he can use his ultimate. One another positive thing about WELT is that he fits into diverse team compositions due to his varied abilities. Although his damage output in AoE situations can be less effective due to the unpredictable nature of his skills, his ultimate still allows him to hit all enemies efficiently. WELT offers considerable value and flexibility in different team roles, being able to act as hyper carry, as a second DPS, or as a support character. Overall, WELT is a character that has quite good value, so I decided to put him on tier B, because in some situations, especially if you are a new player, WELT is still possible to use in some scenarios. And next, the fourth character we will discuss is WELT. Who else if not YANQING, the master swordman who is famous for his prowess. But honestly, I don't know what he's so good at. Anyway, YANQING is a 5-star character who specializes in dealing high damage to single targets. He has a strong critical strike boost from his talent as well as his ultimate. His talent allows him to launch a follow-up attack after attacking an enemy with a chance to freeze them, but he must avoid taking damage to be able to maintain this bonus. If YANQING took damage, even a small amount, he lost all his buffs and needed a full turn to regain them. Well, it's a bit of hassle indeed. Although YANQING has the potential to deal significant damage, playing this character is quite challenging, because if he fights a strong enough enemy, the performance of his kit will automatically be disrupted. YANQING's main kit is called Soul Steal Sync, which is activated by his skill for one turn. This buff makes him less likely to be targeted by enemy attacks and can also increase his critical rate and critical damage. However, if he takes a certain amount of damage, the benefits of Soul Steal Sync will disappear. Well, automatically to be able to use YANQING effectively, a team that has a shield kit is required to protect him from taking damage that can disable Soul Steal Sync, which means we have to pair YANQING with characters like Aventurine or GEPARD. Aside from the fact that his kit is quite ranged, he also has a very high energy cost, so it's not uncommon for Tingyun to be included in the team to compensate for this. But because of this, his team becomes suboptimal in return, as he requires a lot of support units. As a result, even if you have a well-built YANQING, you are still heavily reliant on teammates for optimal performance, even though he can deal considerable damage if conditions are favorable. On top of that, even if you upgrade his Eidolon, YANQING's kit issues cannot be properly resolved either, as he will still be dependent on multiple kits and teammates, making his Eidolon upgrade seem futile. And And well, with the myriad of weaknesses he has, I decided to put YANQING on tier D on this tier list. Not because I hate the character, but because this character is very difficult to build and has so many weaknesses, making him almost unusable in many situations. What do you think? And next, let's move on to BRONYA. BRONYA is Harmony's highly effective support character in Honkai Star Rail. She can greatly increase a team ally's turn by advancing their action by 100%, allowing them to get a turn back, and also deal a sizable damage boost. In addition, she increases the attack and critical damage of the entire team depending on her own critical damage. This makes this character an important support in some existing teams. To effectively optimize the use of BRONYA's kit, she should get a turn as soon as your main DPS gets a turn. She can remove one debuff, increase her allies' damage by 66%, and give them one more turn. A pretty ideal situation would be for BRONYA to follow right after the damage dealer in turn order to maximize her kit. However, as the game progresses, there are two well-known builds for BRONYA. The first is Slow BRONYA, where she is slightly slower than the main DPS, and Hyper Speed BRONYA, where she is much faster, allowing her to continuously advance the turn of the main DPS who has a fairly slow speed. The highlight of BRONYA's kit is her advances forward ability, which allows our team to unleash a greater potential damage output. However, if the battle goes on for a long time, we cannot maximize all of BRONYA's kits, because BRONYA is a character who is hungry for SP. Then what about BRONYA's Eidolon? BRONYA's Eidolon is one of the positive things she has, because it can increase all of her buff abilities. For example, the first Eidolon allows her skill to potentially refund SP costs already spent with a 50% chance. Well, I know it's not definitive, but at least it will cut down on her SP usage. Anyway, BRONYA's skill duration may not fully support some of the DPS in the game, as there are some characters that can do damage outside of their turn. But if you have her 6th Eidolon, this can be resolved properly, because with BRONYA's 6th Eidolon, the buff she gives can last one turn longer, which makes her buff more effective. Well, overall, BRONYA is a very good character. She has a wide range of functions on various teams, including with hypercarry teams that depend on one main DPS in the team. I think BRONYA is a must-have character for every player in this game, so I will put her in tier S on this tier list. What do you think? And for the next character, who else but the most elegant woman in all of Astral Express, HIMEKO. HIMEKO is a powerful AoE damage dealer who can perform follow-up attacks outside of turns. She is great against weak enemies that can be quickly defeated. Her ultimate ability is also very interesting because it can restore energy for each enemy she defeats, which makes her able to issue ultimates quickly against a large number of enemies. However, HIMEKO has a slight weakness in that her single attack is not strong enough and cannot be relied upon a small number of enemies. Well, historically, HIMEKO has been seen as a weak character, but with features like Pure Fiction, it has increased her value. In fact, she is now referred to as one of the meta characters for Pure Fiction mode, because when the enemy is defeated, she gains charge points, which allows her to follow up attacks if she has enough points. And in Pure Fiction mode, she can issue this ability multiple times as long as the enemy continues to spawn into the battle area. Other than the interesting abilities I just mentioned, her bonus ability traces are not that impressive. One provides a fairly low chance of inflicting burn with her attacks, while the other increases damage against enemies that have burn debuffs or increases critical rate under certain HP conditions. The chance for enemies to get burned is quite low, and as a result, the benefits of her abilities might not be realized without additional support from the others. Overall, HIMEKO is strong in dealing AoE damage, but this comes with certain limitations. Well, while she is a standard 5-star character who can obtain Eidolon easily, these Eidolon upgrades will not significantly improve her performance, and she remains very effective even at Eidolon 0. So, to choose HIMEKO as an Eidolon upgrade on Selector 2.7 is not recommended by me. Overall, in conclusion, HIMEKO has improved significantly with Pure Fiction and is a solid character to have. Moreover, if in version 2.7 you plan to take Fuke, it will certainly improve her performance, because she will easily get charge point to launch her follow-up attack. So with this much information, I decided to put HIMEKO on tier A as a character that has enough priority to be taken, especially if you don't have HIMEKO before. And for the last character we will discuss in this video is a character who has a pretty strange weapon. Who else if not GEPARD? GEPARD is a powerful preservation unit and durable tank that can taunt enemies and provide a significant shield from his ultimate. He has a unique skill that allows him to bounce back after defeat and fully recover his energy when this happens. GEPARD also has the possibility to cause freeze debuffs on enemies with his skills. Although there are some newer sustain units that have appeared, GEPARD still proves to perform quite well as a sustain character. Especially if you don't have an existing sustain limited, GEPARD can be quite an interesting option. Shield and Healer actually have the same purpose as Sustain, but they operate differently. Healer restores a character who is still alive, while Shield acts as a shield, so that we don't get hit by damage, making characters more resistant to damage. GEPARD is one of the rare units that can prevent the party from being one-shot by powerful enemies, making it invaluable against high-damage enemies like True Sting or Kafka in battle. Granted, other characters like Wusuan and Aventurine offers the same protection, but GEPARD is a standard 5-star option that is easier to obtain. His ultimate grants shields to all allies, absorbing a large amount of damage for 3 turns, at a low energy cost of only 100. This makes it possible to keep shields active throughout the fight. While GEPARD may not be able to deal substantial damage, he has a chance to freeze enemies, which can prevent them from attacking our party. However, GEPARD's survivability has its limits, and some enemies can still break through his defenses. One of the main drawbacks of this character is that his shield depends on when he casts his ultimate, where sometimes he gets crowd controlled by enemies, so his shield availability is inconsistent. Anyway, GEPARD's Eidolon provides pretty good value, especially Eidolon who can increase his freeze ability. Overall, while you don't have better sustain yet, GEPARD can still be a good option to use. Therefore, I plan to put GEPARD on tier C. Okay guys, I think that's all for now. What do you think? Which one you want to pull in the next update? Please leave any comments down below and don't forget to check out my another video because they are just as cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, healthy, and see you in the next video.